Well, and wasn't that just a little bit of fun, ladies and gentlemen? What an opportune time to have some issues with the technology at Thailand. My end, put my hand up, my apologies. Let's roll into the final session of AusCERT2020. First of all, always a popular part of the conference, virtual, real, wherever, is the Capture the Flag activities. Got a couple of awards to give away here before our final speed debate to close it off for 2020. So to kick off the Capture the Flag, my pleasure to call to the virtual stage from Context, Jared. Take it away, Jared.
Hey all, hopefully everything's coming through nice and clearly. Usually these days, most people call me Kelso. That's how I am on pretty much all the social media sorts of things. However, it is what it is. I'm a security consultant over at Context Information Security. We're now part of the Accenture Security Group. We're a consulting company we're primarily a consulting company that does penetration testing through to red team engagements. However, I'm sure most people aren't interested in all the salesy stuff and that sort of thing. We're more interested to see how things went with the Capture the Flag. So last year, we brought along a small smart village with hackable light controllers and traffic management systems. Unfortunately, due to the whole COVID situation, we've had to reduce the scope of what we could do this year, primarily due to the remote nature of the conference and things along those lines. However, that hasn't reduced the fierce competition that we've seen during this year's Capture the Flag, with the ultimate winners being decided within the last few hours of competing. In third place, we have Team Swillet with a healthy score of 771. They joined into the competition late yesterday afternoon and spent a lot of time working the cryptography challenges, which I, for one, had a lot of difficulty with when we were play testing them all to begin with. In second place, with an early lead, we had Team of One with a score of 1,041 points. They burst into the lead early until very late in the competition. They worked hard and held strong for a long time with the points that they'd earned. However, ultimately, there can only be one winner. And in first place, with a score of 1,341 points, we had Team UQ Cyber Squad. This team of two stayed quiet until the last few hours of the competition, where they stormed ahead in a small amount of time. They managed to win themselves a small bag of hacker goodies, which in this case contains a few devices such as a Alpha Wireless card, an Ubertooth one, and many more little tidbits which is going to help them along in their security journey. We'll plan on reaching out to them shortly to organize mailing addresses and things along those lines to make sure that they get their wonderful prizes in short order. And finally, we, being as a Context part of Accenture Security, would like to thank AusCERT for giving us the opportunity to run this competition again. And we look forward to being able to host many more things like this in the future. Lastly, thank you to everyone who competed in the Capture the Flag this year. You are all heroes to us. Thank you.
Well done, Kelso, and thank you very much. Congratulations, University of Queensland. And roll on with the annual AusCERT speed debate. Oh, if you haven't seen this before, ladies and gentlemen, this is so much fun. Not one topic, not two, no, 6 topics, 6 debates in your traditional 3-a-side style. Each speaker speaking for only 1 minute. People who one moment are the best of friends agreeing with something, a few seconds later hate each other's guts and are going at each other's throats. It's going to be great fun. Our celebrity panel this year, Brian Hay, Geoff Thonon, who's stepping in at the last second for Bill Hagstead. Thank you so much, Geoff. Mandy Turner, Colby Price, Stilgherrian, Eric Pinkerton, Mike Holm, David Jorm, and Phil Kernick are about to rip into it. You can vote. We will post the topic in the Q&A section. You can upvote affirmative or negative for that topic. Strictly, as in with asking a Q&A during a session, you can vote very early in the debate if you want. You can, in fact, then, if you voted affirmative early on, change your mind and give a vote to negative. You can only vote once for any proposition, however, so therefore the most you can do is change your mind and cancel it. Just wait till near the end, okay? They'll be relayed back to me by the miracle of technology, and if not, I'll just say who I thought won. Regardless, our first topic, that CVSS or CVSS should go to a rank higher than 10. I have been saying this for so long, not to influence you. Okay, Colby, Mandy, and Stil will be the affirmative. Eric, David, and Phil will take the negative. Colby, if you are ready, my hairy friend, take it away that CVSS should go to a rank higher than 10.
Yeah, it definitely should go higher than 10. If you've kind of been around the same place that I've been, which is the planet Earth. Pretty much everything has been rocking a 10 these past few months. And it's just kind of like my nephew, whenever he sees something, it's the coolest thing ever. And in the same way that every time there's vulnerability, it's always the most vulnerable thing ever. I think we need to bump it up higher. 11 would be cool. You could go all the way to 100, but genuine reaction of whenever I see a 10 is, oh. But, you know, if it went to 11, maybe you'd get a little bit of these. So I can't see a timer, but yeah, higher than 10.
Thank you so much, Colby. That range of facial emotion. Ooh, an absolute tour de force. Try and rebut that. Over to you, Eric Pinkerton.
Hey, so 11. I've just realized, Colby, where I recognize you from. You were the bass player in Spinal Tap. That's why it's got to go to 11, right? It's one louder. Look, I'm old enough to remember CVSS 1.0, when to all intents and purposes, it basically got sorted into 3 buckets. We had low, we had medium, and we had high, and we did just fine with that. Then some academics got involved, and let's assume some reefers got passed around, and we kind of went from 1 to 2 to 3. Now we're on 3.1. We have buckets in that standard that's sort of non and low and medium and high and critical. We've got a category of risk that we've called non. What is the point of that? I've got root, but now I can get root. The whole thing is so complex. And I seem to recall Bruce Schneier waffling on about complexity being the enemy of security. So no, let's not have more than 10. Let's go back to having 3. And they need to be defined on the desired reaction that these things should elicit. 1, meh. 2, yeah, okay, I'll get onto that right after lunch. And 3, what? Hold my sandwich.
Thank you very much, Eric. Okay, now appearing just on audio, no video, but listen to the words, they're going to be powerful. Mandy Turner, take it away.
Had to unmute myself then, Adam, had a tech problem. Okay, so the common vulnerability scoring system uses a base metric of 0 to 10, with 10 being the highest, but it really should go higher. Some vulnerabilities are so easily exploitable that they do some full-on bad stuff and hinky things to systems, so they should be ranked at least to 11, as young Colby said. 11 is used to indicate a maximum level. Is not a new concept in the world. It's time for vulnerability ratings to get on board with that. For example, the Baldwin Loco Company in 1947 used 11 on the console dials to mark maximum speed. It was not 10, my people, it was 11. In Formula One racing, one of the teams uses the phase mode 11 to tell their drivers to go full power. Full throttle for them is not mode 10, peeps, but mode 11. In 2016, the astronomer Christoph Schoenig described the brightest object in the universe as being turned up to 11. The stars are in 11, my people. And as my friend Eric from the opposition said, let's not forget the 1984 movie This Is Spinal Tap, with the volume dialing right up to 11. And not to mention my favourite guitars ever, Les Paul designed Gibsons that have a switch going up to 11 to denote maximum. Let's learn from the past. 10 is not the maximum, peeps. The maximum rating has to be 11. So the vulnerability system, their rating scheme should go higher than 10.
Okay, thank you very much, Mandy. That sounded dangerously close to research from mine. That's your first warning. Okay, over to you on the negative. David Jorm, take it away, David.
Yeah, so the problem with this reason about 11 is, why do we even have a base 10 system in the first place? Why do we use decimals, the basis of our numeric systems? And that's ubiquitous across humanity and cultures. It's because we have 10 of these, 10 digits, 10 fingers. And the idea that we have more than that is somewhat concerning to me. If everything's going to 11, people might want to sign up to Ancestry.com and see if there's something weird going on in the family tree.
Oh, thank you very much, David. A few ancient Babylonians might disagree with you, but I loved it. Okay, to bring it home for the affirmative. Stilgherrian, what have you got for us, my friend?
Well, Adam, of course, CVSS ranking should go to numbers higher than 10. It's obvious. My learned colleagues have already presented ample reasons for it, but let me add one more: patriotism. COVID-19 has caused massive unemployment all over the world. Here in Australia, the effective unemployment rate is now 47%, and youth unemployment is now at an all-time high of 128%. This cannot be allowed to continue. Change the CVSS system And there's a huge amount of work to be done. Every single vulnerability will have to be rescored, jobs for everyone, profits for consultants. And while we're at it, we can add in some more important factors to roll into the rankings, such as how cool is this hack? Is there a logo? And most importantly, how many cybers has it got? Upscale a CVSS system, my friends. Do it for our young people. Do it for Australia.
Thank you very much, Still. I was hoping someone would say do it for Australia, and we got there. And yes, as the father of 2 young kids, the thought of 126% youth unemployment does scare me. To wrap this up for the negative, take it away, Phil Kernick.
Thanks, Adam. Look, the affirmative have been using reason and logic and thoughts like the typical bloody academics they are, that they want to come up with an idea that's theoretically proper, that's going to work effectively. But here's what I'm going to tell you. None of you bastards are going to patch anyway. I don't care whether the CVS score is 3 or 6 or 9 or 10 or 11. You're still not going to patch. So you might as well just ignore the whole damn system.
Thank you very much, Phil. Short and sweet. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Go to your Q&A box now and upvote either affirmative or negative. You've got 30 seconds to jump in there, and we'll give you the result of this first debate.
The noes have it.
And the first debate has been won comfortably by the negative. Congratulations, Eric, David, and Phil. Okay, this brings us on to topic number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Security and privacy are mutually exclusive. You can't be secure and have your privacy too. Brian, Mandy, and David will affirm. Geoff, Still, and Mike will negate. Take it away, kick it off. Welcome to the speed debate, Brian Hay. Need to unmute you there, Brian. I think, is that me or is that, there you go.
Okay. What a crock of shit is the motion of my esteemed opposition that security and privacy can be anything but mutually exclusive. These numbnuts will tell you anything. Let me quote the dizzy heights of ASD. If you're connected to the internet, you're already compromised. Privacy does not exist. It's a fallacy. It can't exist if you're part of the internet. Privacy is an exercise in risk management. Life is an exercise in risk management. Driving a car is an exercise in risk management. You want to save 1,200 Australian lives every year? Ban motor vehicles. See, no one's going to do that. We're going to manage the risk. Security is an exercise in risk management. Security today and tomorrow is more and more about biometrics, your identity. Your identity is your key. Therefore, if you can't use your key and therefore compromise to some extent your identity / your privacy, where are you going to go? If you want to be secure and you do want your privacy, easy, turn off the internet.
Thank you very much, Brian. Geoff, your chance to lead off the negative. Take it away.
Security and privacy are mutually exclusive. Totally. Not. You're kidding me, right? Okay. Sorry for the affirmative. I feel so sad for you. You've got a losing case. I'm going to do a Ned Simpson on you. Ha ha. Okay. Seriously, being private is not being secure. Look, privacy Venn diagram circle. Security Venn diagram circle. Yup, 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 yup. I've just been Pac-Man'd, okay? Look, security elements are pretty much confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Confidentiality, privacy, come on, baby. Tell that to the group of Bears mottos, reveal their secrets and protect our own. You know, there's a couple of people who do have that motto, reveal their secrets and protect our own. Anyway, come on, there has to be another interpretation. It's too easy for us to win. Come on, this is give away to the negative side. Chair, entity, whoever you are, can we give the brownie points to affirmative? No, okay, no problems. We'll try to figure out. Look, God, perhaps there's something in there. If people are being private, then society is less secure. Ha ha. Chair, entity, I'll take those brownie points back from affirmative. Look, if you have the village that knows everything, then perhaps the village can protect you. You don't have privacy, but you have security. But then again, what happens if those secrets go away and it gets compromised? Then you get to have to be coached to do something that you don't want to do. In other words, you're no longer secure. You gave away your privacy, you gave away your security. I'm sorry. We win.
Thank you very much there, Geoff. Venn diagram and dancing. I loved it. But don't worry with chair or entity. just call me sir. Okay, Mandy Turner, back to you to take the affirmative, please. Mandy.
Okay, so I really do think we should give Geoff a point for the Pac-Man reference. That was pretty cool. But let's go beyond the whole cybers and look at security as a whole. So we got CCTV, public surveillance technology. It's capturing images of you, picking your nose and cheating on your diet with a donut. It's privacy invading technology that in 2013 led to Boston Marathon bombing suspects being identified. So people were more secure in the end because of privacy being invaded. The CCTV does invade your privacy, but gives you more security. CCTV is a security mechanism and part of crime prevention through environmental design. It looks at all of the things that you do. There are cameras everywhere. Big Brother is definitely watching you, but you are more secure for it. CCTV is a security mechanism. It's invading your privacy, but because it invades your privacy, we have a more secure world.
Thank you so much, Mandy. To continue the case for the negative, security and privacy are mutually exclusive. You can't be secure and have your privacy too. Here to disagree, take it away, Stilgherrian.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I want you to imagine me naked in my bedroom, right? Sir. Yes, look, I know, but stay with me. It's all okay because I have curtains. I protect my privacy with curtains, sometimes underpants as well, but in this case, it's just the curtains. But here's the thing about curtains. They have to be fastened to the top of the window securely, right? My bedroom privacy is intimately intertwined with the security of my curtains. Otherwise, it'd be curtains for my privacy and also for your sense of moral well-being. Now, substitute my private parts with your medical records and banking details, my underpants with your passwords and two-factor authentication, and my curtains with a firewall, or as it should really be called, a cyber curtain. It's obvious, really.
Oh, God. Oh, dear. Oh, I'm sorry, David, for the affirmative. Please, David, back to you.
So the problem with privacy and security going hand in hand is that if you want to implement security in a way that's private, you have to do it yourself. I remember I actually once foolishly tried to engage Richard Stallman, true story, engage Richard Stallman to give a presentation in Brisbane. And he runs his own email server, takes 48 hours to respond, et cetera, has this whole protocol because he won't put anything in the cloud, won't allow you to do it. But that's Richard Stallman, right? So he's capable of running these systems himself. What about people these days? There's a great bit from a stand-up comedian where he says, if you line up every single person in line, from the smartest person in the world to the stupidest person in the world, and you go to the person right in the middle, they're going to be a gibbering moron. Can that person implement security themselves? No, they have to delegate it to greater minds, to smarter people, to Google, to Amazon, to Big Brother. They can think for you. Don't try and think for yourself.
Thank you so much, David. We are back on track. Mike's going to bring it home for the negative. Over to you, Mike Holm.
Mute.
Let's do the unmute thing. Thank you very much, Adam. So young Rudiger knows that he shouldn't use his real birth date when he signs up for the rewards program at the coffee shop near his office. He knows that he must only enable his webcam when he needs it for that important Zoom meeting. And in his home office, he's put up a screen in front of the bookcase so that all his clients can't see his collection of Doctor Who books that might give away too much personal info about his hobbies. Rudiger is a good citizen. He follows the advice from our fabulous e-safety commissioner. He has completed all of his online cybersecurity training modules in his workplace, and he said, no thanks, Bob. I won't use your answer cheat sheet to go straight to the security assessment. I'll review the whole course content. He's secure and he's private too.
Thank you so much, Mike. The debate is done and dusted. Go to the Q&A section now and vote. And while you're voting, can I just quickly clarify? I had a question someone asked me very directly. That white towel I was using after Stig's reference to nudity was purely to wipe away tears, ladies and gentlemen. Tears. You've got 15 seconds to get your votes in.
I don't want to know.
I do.
I think he had to stab himself in the eye to get that image out of his head.
Now. I'm waiting for the confirmation of the result.
Landslide.
See, that'd work a whole lot better if there was a separate Q&A item for each question, wouldn't it? And you wouldn't have to do sums in your head, Adam.
I can't even see it, unfortunately, due to the technical issues I was having.
120
beautiful.
for negative, 37 for affirmative.
Oh,
But that includes the other question, doesn't it?
123 negative, 38 affirmative.
Yeah, but it includes the first question.
I'm being told the negative has won convincingly. I might pad for a couple of seconds if someone wants to remove affirmative and negative from the Q&A section and then put it back in again to make sure we don't accidentally double up on the count. But I'm calling this negative. That's the way we roll here in the speed debate. Congratulations, Geoff and Still and Mike taking the points in that one. Our third topic, ladies and gentlemen, this question has been encrypted. Please pay 0.05 Bitcoins to this address. I love it. It is very meta. This question has been encrypted. Please pay 0.05 Bitcoins to this address. Colby, Geoff, and Eric against Phil, Mandy, and Still. Take it away, Colby.
It's not meta. I'm the sysadmin. I'm supposed to have backups of these things, but I was too cheap. Oh God, Stockdale's giving me the stink eye. I'll just pretend it's fine. Let's just go with the CVSS one again. I think it should be, actually, no, yeah, let's just pay it. Everyone, 0.5 of a Bitcoin. That's either like a coffee or a Lamborghini. But I think if we pass around a collection tray, we can get this. We can get the real question again. We can keep going. Vote for the affirmative. Just share me your Bitcoin wallet. I think we'll be good.
Thank you very much, Colby. Phil, you're leading off the negative. Over to you, Phil.
Madness. The fact that we're in this place is entirely Colby's fault. Let's face it, it's the sysadmin's fault. It's brought on your own head. You start paying 0.05 Bitcoin. I checked, that's $745. Okay, that's today. Wait, 10 seconds later, 740. 10 seconds later, 700. Who knows what this amount of money is? It doesn't matter. What you're doing is you're taking your own incompetence and you're paying child pornographers. You're paying the fucking terrorists. Every time you do this, a fairy dies and some sicko does a bad thing on the internet. That's all Bitcoin's for. It's all Bitcoin's ever been for. And if you want to make a little kitty cry, didn't you listen to the E-Safety Commission? If you're making little kitties cry because you can't do backups, you are a bad human.
Okay, you clearly feel very strongly about that. Thank you very much, Phil. Geoff, your chance to take up the affirmative cudgel, please.
Sure. Pay. Have you not been listening to what I've said? You know, slides, phishing, nastier, by any other name. Let's really recap it, at least in a way that you will win this speed debate. Anyway, heads up, if you don't pay, the data runs out. Your details go all over the place. Can I do another Ned? Ha ha. Look. Think about what happens. Well, the vultures will hound around the data, picking up the pieces and see, well, one, if they can phish you with it. Hey, more guests in your hosts. If they can further extort you from more Bitcoins, did you not make it stop? Okay. If they can do any more damage to the people that you know, any over the 1 and 2, okay, whether to extort other people that just like you, then that data gets sold on the internet and traded and mashed into collections. And if you are high enough on the social status, then you can be included into databases in which the papers are published and where the rich can say, oh, okay, on which database are you on? Because, you know, I'm so high up on the socials and media, I'm everywhere. Okay.
1 minute.
Hey, sorry, 1 minute? Okay, pay, and get on with your life.
Thank you very much, Geoff. He comes with his own sound effects. I love it. Mandy, you're on the negative this time. Over to you, Mandy Turner.
Thanks for reminding me. I had a bit of problem there. I thought it was affirmative. Okay, no, sorry. We won't give in to extortionists. We will not negotiate with criminals. And I want to know why they're asking for Bitcoin. Monero is harder to trace. We are not going to pay the ransom. If we pay, we'll identify ourselves as people that pay. We are not people that pay. And we don't want the question unlocked anyway, because it will probably be really hard. And it's even worse if it's a really hard question, like go back to that thing about CVSS stuff. Don't want that. So no, I'm not unlocking it anyway. And if we did pay that Bitcoin, the criminals will take our money and fly off to the soon-to-be Republic of Barbados post-COVID holidays, and we'll never have our question decrypted. There's also no guarantee that the encryption algorithm will work properly and the question will never be recovered properly. And if it is, it won't make sense to us. So if no one ever pays that ransom, we'll all be better off.
Thank you very much, Mandy. To close the debate for the affirmative, Eric Pinkerton, take it away. Eric.
Okay, right. Hang on. 0.05 Bitcoin is $746 now. It's 2020. Let's face it. What else are you going to spend that money on? How much artisanal gin-flavored hand sanitizer and novelty hoodies can you get for $723? Let me tell you something. Those Russian criminals need that money because in the evenings they go out to nightclubs and give that money straight to the Russian ladies who work in those nightclubs. And those ladies have literally nothing to wear. And do you know how cold it gets in that part of the world? Tell me this. Have you got a backup of that question? That doesn't matter because if you don't pay $704 within the next 2 days, it's going to get leaked on the dark web soon anyway, and everyone will see the question. So vote affirmative and pay up, you tight asses. It's 2020. People are paying $10,000 on eBay for rare furry Ushis, for God's sake. It's only $686 if you pay in the next 20 seconds.
What a decent humanitarian you are, just caring about cold Russian women. Thank you so much, Eric. An emotional tour de force. Still, wrap it up for us.
Thank you, sir. The question I have for you, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly how much of a C word do you want to be? And by C word, of course, I mean criminal. Okay, your thingo has been encrypted, and you really don't want it to be because you've been a careless C word, the other kind, who doesn't have a backup. Well done, you. That's probably criminal negligence right there. So now you propose to pay these other criminals. You actually want to incite these criminals to further acts. They're doing cyber things, people, and as you know, everything cyber is terrorism. You are planning to fund acts of terrorism. Even worse, though, you plan to pay them in Bitcoin? Really? Bitcoin is a crime against humanity, not only because everyone involved should be in jail, but because to pay your 0.05 Bitcoin, you'll burn off more fossil fuel than Belgium. You turd, you eco-terrorist, you C-word.
Okay, there you go. Eco-terrorists on one side, humanitarians on the other. You've got 30 seconds to log your vote. Go to the Q&A. I'm being assured, it is being reset. Every time, dive in there and upvote either negative or affirmative. We'll have those results in just a matter of moments. Colby, Geoff, and Eric versus Phil, Mandy, and Still. And I'm being told it's been won by the negative. Congratulations, Phil, Mandy, and Still. Topic number 4. Programming languages don't cause vulnerabilities. Programmers do. Brian, Still, and Phil against Geoff, Mike, and Eric. Brian, take it away, please.
What a crock of shit that programmers don't cause vulnerabilities. If you want something cocked up, give it to a programmer. But let's not be too harsh. Any person can stuff it up. Programmers don't have a mortgage on that privilege. It's part of human nature to stuff things up. Code is fundamentally static unless you make it dynamic. But isn't that a simple self-generating version of static? And who wrote that? A programmer. They see themselves as the parents of creation. And like most things that are created, they're far from perfect. So they again can't hide from their responsibilities. This is not a chicken and egg scenario where we have to figure out what comes first. We know when it comes to coding who gave birth to that little pellet of genius. I rest my case. And just a disclaimer, no programmers were injured or abused in the making of this submission.
Thank you very much, Brian. Okay, Geoff, over to you to lead off the negative. Take it away, Geoff.
Blame the people, why don't you? Actually, yes, I will blame the people. I will blame not the programmers, but the engineers. Engineers, TU. I almost said something bad in Cantonese, I'm sorry, but that's okay. It's just French for yogurt. Fruche, you know? It's it. Engineers, TU, get your acts together. You think you can do crypto? You got us web. 5 minutes of wide equivalent protection. Thank you very much. Engineers, Fruche. You had an opportunity to separate instructions and data, and then you had too much beer and took a party, and then you gave us the Van Neumann machine. Fantastic, lovely. Okay, well, and then it took us 5 generations of programming language to get finally right. Well, kind of, not really. Okay, C, C sharp, C, C plus, C++, C sharp. And did it get better? No. If there was a language that could precisely tell verbs and objects in exactly the way that it needs to be, that problems would go away. I think I'll call it Latin plus Latin sharp. Okay. Oh no, wait, people need to use it, and not everybody knows Latin. I think I'll call it Esperanto sharp. Lovely. Oh, don't worry, I'm an engineer. Don't worry, it's okay. It'll go away.
Thank you so much, Geoff, here making his fourth and final appearance in the 2020 AusCERT Speed Debate. Take it away, Still.
Thank you, sir. Look, I have another question for you, ladies and gentlemen. Who created programming languages? Programmers, that's who. Geoff, who just spoke, is just plain wrong. Even if you accept his ludicrous position that programming languages themselves somehow cause the vulnerabilities, who created those tools? Well, the very tools that make vulnerabilities possible were created by those other tools, the programmers. That's who. Programmers deliberately created programming languages. They deliberately created so many programming languages that it's impossible to learn any of them thoroughly. And as soon as one language becomes popular, they invent another one. Why aren't we writing iPhone apps in COBOL, I ask you? All this could be solved, however, if every program was written in Perl. If programmers made a correct choice and chose the only correct, flawless and simple to comprehend language, by which I obviously mean Perl, then vulnerabilities would vanish overnight. That programmers choose not to do this, though, is an indictment on the entire so-called profession. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Still. I know once a year when I hear jokes like, hey, why aren't we writing iPhone apps in COBOL? I'm doing the AusCERT Speed Debate. Okay, to carry it on for the negative, take it away, Mike.
Thank you, sir. Now, I don't even know where to start with that, so I'm going to tell a story instead. So young Jane went to university. She studied IT. She received honours for her 4 years of hard work. She's an absolute whiz at programming in Perl. In her new job in the graduate program, her manager assigned her to a team and she started working on a portion of her project. But of course, her manager had made unrealistic promises to the client delivery team. Now Jane is under pressure to deliver her part of the project faster. So in her haste, she forgot to bounds check something and the project was completed on time. The company's client database was hacked and ID Care had to step in and help their customers. And no, this company wasn't an AusCERT member, by the way. So Jane's now working at AusCERT, where we value security over all else. Programmers don't cause vulnerabilities, managers do.
Okay, thank you very much, Mike. To wrap up the argument for the affirmative, I'm thrown to you now, Phil Kernick. Take it away, Phil.
Thanks, Spence. So, hi, my name's Phil and I'm a programmer. It's been a number of years since I've written a line of code and I really want to. I feel the need to automate. I really want to get back on the code, but every time I do, I fuck up. Every time I do, I write a vulnerability. Every time I do, something screws up. And then I lose my chip. I've got my 8-year chip of not writing any code, and I haven't screwed up. But if I do, I will. And as we know here at Programmers Anonymous, we don't blame the booze, the code. We blame ourselves. We take responsibility. It's the programmers. It's not the code.
Stay strong, brother. Stay strong, Phil. Remember, you're only one keystroke away from falling back in. Eric, close it out for the negative, please.
Okay, so programmers are people. And those of you that know me will know that my entire philosophy for cybersecurity can be distilled into 3 simple concepts. Cybersecurity is not about the CIA triad or people, process, technology, and all of that guff. Cybersecurity comes down to 3 things. People are shit. You laugh, but consider this. There are 3 types of shitty people. People who are evil, people who are lazy, and people who make mistakes. And if you draw a Venn diagram of those 3 personality types, computer programmers fit nicely in the intersection of all 3. And if you've ever done any coding yourself, and I work in InfoSec, so I'm going to judge you if you haven't, when you hit the compile button for the first time, you realize that programmers who write the programming languages are the most evil, lazy, inept, shitty people there are. So by voting affirmative, you're absolving those sandal-wearing, beardy bastards of their heinous crimes. Now, the more astute ones amongst you and the people on my panel will have realized that by now I may have mistakenly just argued against my own team's assigned position, but what you haven't factored in is that I was too lazy to fix it and too evil to care, so I rest my case. So vote negative anyway, because computers do what you damn well tell them to do, not what you bloody want them to do.
Okay, thank you very much, Eric, who I think wants us to vote for, I'm not sure, but it's over to you now. Go to the Q&A box, vote for for the if you agreed with Eric, I don't know. Over to you.
We need another poll, which is better, Pearl or Cobol?
I'm being told the winner in this one is the affirmative. Congratulations, Brian, Still, and Phil. And congratulations, Eric, because I think you sort of had a moral victory there anyway. Okay, let's move on to topic 5. Username and password are 2 factors and therefore count as 2-factor authentication. Brian, Colby, and Phil against Mandy, Mike, and David. Take it away, Brian.
All the time I've been saying, what a crock of shit, and you think I was saying what a crock of shit. In actual fact, I was saying what a crock of shit. Can you people not count? 1 + 1 = 2. Why is it security people have this never-ending desire to make simple things more complicated? There is a reason we've migrated to multi-factor authentication, because it needs to be more than username plus password, more than 2-factor authentication. Is a username an authentication? Yes, they call it an identity. The username has to be checked and validated by the system in order to be allowed access. Is that not a process of authentication? That's one. The password too has to be validated in conjunction with a username. It authenticates. That's 2. Now we have 2 factors of authentication. I reiterate, 1 + 1 = 2. Case dismissed.
Thank you very much, Brian. I can announce exclusively Brian's personal fashion range will be available through the AusCERT website at the conclusion of this conference. Mandy, take it up for the negative, please.
Okay, sadly, I don't have a wonderful shirt like you there, Brian, but I wouldn't mind it. That's pretty cool. Go, Brian. Okay, sorry, we're on the wrong side. I'm not supposed to say go, Brian. Username and password are actually 2 factors. Yes, they are, but they're only 1 factor of authentication. Username and password is single factor, like the dragon is at your door and has the key to your house. Your door is your username, the key is your password. But if it's 2FA, there's an extra layer of protection. For example, the dragon is now at your front door. It has the key to your house. It doesn't have opposable thumbs, so the dragon actually is going to have problems with the key anyway. But you have a moat around your house, so that's your other factor of authentication. And there's piranhas in there, which actually even makes it another factor of authentication. And I am completely lost because it's been a really long day. Okay, so 2-factor authentication is more than username and password. The dragon is at the door to your house, but it can't get past because there is a moat filled with piranhas. 2-factor requires 2 different security authentication methods, not just your username. Username and password is single-factor authentication. The password is only the only authenticator there. 2-factor authentication is the piranha-filled moat, plus the key to the house and opposable thumbs being able to use it. So although username and password are 2 things, they are not 2 security factors because there are no piranhas.
Thank you very much, Mandy. Evolutionary biology meets Game of Thrones. Okay, Colby, take it up with the affirmative, please, my friend. Over to you.
That metaphor is, as my good friend Brian would say, a crock of shit, because there isn't just one door. You're in a hallway of tens of millions of doors. He's not even going to find your door. No one even knows what my password is. It's not my email address. Don't worry about it. But, you know, people always say that a second factor is something you have and a password is something you know. Well, I say to that, if you know what your password is, you're an idiot. You're not using a password manager. Everyone should be using a password manager. And that dragon is never, ever going to find my door.
Thank you very much, Colby. Okay, Mike, you're going to take it up for the negative now, please. Fire away.
Thank you, sir. So young Bobby is in school. His mum and dad regularly review the eSafety Commissioner's advice and supervise Bobby's internet playtime. Now, one of the pieces of advice is to enable multi-factor authentication on services. So Bobby's parents have done that for Facebook or whatever the heck it is that kids use these days. I've got no idea. Bobby's parents know that a username and a password aren't 2 different factors because they're both pieces of text. They know that a true second factor is a different form. So Here's the problem, collective online view, whatever a collection of online viewers is. I don't know what the collective noun is for that. We need to start calling it multi-factor auth, not 2FA, to help all the other citizens understand how to be safe online. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you very much, Mike. See Spot run. See the dog. Phil, your final contribution to the speed debate this year comes now. Fire away, Phil.
I think the question doesn't make any sense. 2FA. I looked up FA. Final approval, food allergy, field activities, oh, fat activism, actually I can get behind that one. Full adder, fulvic acid, financial assurance. None of these have anything to do with usernames or passwords or any, it doesn't come into it. I don't understand. Wait a minute. Fallen angel, first article, flip anim, faith alive, final acceptance. It's all full of crap.
Thank you so much, Phil. Wrapping it up now for the affirmative. David Jorm, over to you.
I mean, it's very simple. How can you have two factors when they're the same thing? Admin, the username, and admin, the password. They're one thing. It's as simple as that.
Oh, and he breaks that's a speed debate record, 9.2 seconds, the fastest speech we've had in the 7 years of the speed debate. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're sending home one of either Mandy or Phil, both of them who made their final contribution to the speed debate this year as a winner. Do you go for the affirmative or the negative? Hit us with your votes right now. Brian, Colby and Phil versus Mandy, Mike and David. And I'm being told the negative in your final debate for the day. Congratulations, Mandy and Mike and David. This brings us to the final debate of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Enabling the webcam is the next step in the CAPTCHA arms race. Enabling the webcam is the next step in the CAPTCHA arms race. Geoff, Eric and Mike against Brian, David and Colby. Take it away, please, Geoff.
Totally, it's in the arms race. Look, I want to take you to 20 minutes in the future. Now, I'm not Matt Frewer, but I'm trying to give you the idea of the actual head, okay? That it could actually be deep faked, okay? You've got Matt, you got there, and then you've got the fact that it can be totally faked. If it's going to be on a facial recognition. Now, if it's a facial recognition, it's got to have some kind of leeway, right? Because it has to recognize you when you're early in the morning, late at night, when you're happy, when you're not so happy, okay? When you're up 3 a.m. making slides for the next conference. Anyway, have you heard of photographs? Perhaps recollecting and making a fake head after photographs. I'll Google that for you, no problems. Gesture recognition, perhaps, doesn't matter. As long as you've got the head, it's okay. Think of what, and isn't it possible to get pictures from your webcam? Think about it. Can supervillains actually do that? I'll give you, you don't have to Google that for you. I'll tell you. Interpreter session 1. I, interactive, webcam, list, webcam, snap, record, mic, run, webcam, tag P, www. It ain't gonna stop. It's just an arm race.
Thank you so much, Geoff, for your efforts today. Thank you very much in particular for filling in at short notice. Brian Hay, lead it off to the negative, please, my friend. Unmute, Brian, unmute.
What a crock of shit. Webcams are like American politicians, very simple tools. We need something more complex. CAPTCHA lets real people in and keeps bots out, just like a wall. Forget old firewalls, forget next generation firewalls. I'm producing the Super Trump wall. It will be so big that Rocket Man in North Korea won't be able to fly over it. My firewall will kill all viruses. You just inject disinfectant directly into the Ethernet cable. That's the blue one at the back, right? Yeah. And all viruses are killed instantly. Remember, don't be a chump and put your head up your rump by doing a dump on Donald Trump. And salute to AusCERT for making security great again.
Thank you very much, Brian. Oh, dear, Eric. Best of luck following that, my friend. Over to you, Eric, for the affirmative.
I like to wonder how he's going to get that bear over his wall. So I did some research on this, and it turns out that CAPTCHA solves 3 of the most important problems facing humankind today. 1, it lets us reassure Google that we're not robots. 2, it helps Google to find all the buses and the stop signs and the bicycles. And 3, most importantly, it offers us that much needed reassurance that we are not indeed robots. If you're like me, then you feel a little bit of pride each time you pass one of those I am not a robot tests. The problem is that the way we defeat CAPTCHAs is to configure our bots to farm the request to real humans in a third world using Jeff Bezos' Mechanical Turk. So now humans are effectively just supplying training data to artificial intelligence, and in doing so, teaching the robots to solve these problems themselves, which means that Google is becoming sentient and Skynet will be soon able to catalog all of the fire hydrants on its own. And the only way to stave off this inevitable future dystopia is to peel off that little bit of electrical tape over your camera, pop on your webcam, and complete a series of easy activities like placing a finger on your nose or winking at the webcam, interspersed with tasks that real humans cannot perform, such as licking your elbow or raising both of your eyebrows independently or remembering to turn off Zoom, hey? Or turn off your mute on Zoom, hey?
Okay, thank you very much, Eric. To wrap it up for his efforts today, David, second speaker for the negative, take it away.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that video is the next way to go in CAPTCHA, because the whole point is something that you just can't easily get a computer to do or can't easily outsource. Videos have done this. Has anybody ever seen Big Man Tyrone? This is a guy who's made millions of dollars on the simple concept that you write a string of characters, of words, and you pay per word, and he sends you a video of him saying it. True story. He'll even wear a suit or whatever you tell him to. And he's made big business out of this. Now, you don't think Amazon's going to catch on to this? You don't think they're going to have, Big Tyrone as a service and be able to get whatever video you want done? I don't think it's going to scale. It's an arms race that you can't win. Definitely not with video.
Okay, thank you very much for your efforts today, David. Mike, bring it home for the affirmative, please.
Thank you, sir. So, young Veronica loves to go out partying. It's been quite tough for her these last 8 months or so because she hasn't been able to do that, but surely better times are ahead. Anyway, when she goes out to her favourite nightclub, they scan her driver's licence and they take her photo at the door. But Veronica's a good citizen and the club's never had to send that data to the police for anything. So she's quite used to it. So when Veronica signed up for the mailing list for her third Sunday of the month book club, she wasn't at all surprised when the page asked her to pose for her webcam and prove that she was a real person. It didn't work though. It asked her to try it again and again. Eventually, she held up a picture of her doggy, and the AI engine in CAPTCHA said, "Thank you, real person detected," and all was well.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, to wrap it up for us all, seeking his first win of the afternoon, take it away, Colby.
Way to rub it in. Turning on a webcam is definitely not the next step in the arms race. It's stupid. Like, you want a face? I can get you a face by the end of the afternoon. Like, it means nothing. Anyone could do, anyone behind the screen. Plus, if you've been to this conference, you'll see about half the people here don't even have a webcam. And there was, to perfectly sum up this whole thing, there was a great scholar who once said, "This is a total crock of shit."
Thank you very much, Colby. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our last topic for the day. Enabling the webcam is the next step in the CAPTCHA arms race. Do you vote for the affirmative, Geoff, Eric, and Mike, or the negative, Brian, David, and Colby? Get those votes in right now. Our final vote for the day. This will determine our winners this afternoon. It has been given to the negative. That's Colby, David, and Brian. Okay, so no boos and yays at the end of the air cannon. That's I'm going to put a 0 there. I'll get that 0 there, and I'm going to mic there. Okay, then, ladies and gentlemen, this is the way it is spilled out this year. Colby got across the line there at the end and picked up a win. Congratulations. That means we have, out of a possible 4 wins, Geoff, Colby, Eric, all on 1 win. Congratulations. Add them together, you still wouldn't have won every debate. That's the way it goes. On 2 points, we have Brian, Mandy, and Mike, leaving us on 3 points, a 3-way tie between Still, David, and Phil. And this is where it falls to me, a very, very, very difficult decision to make. Phil, as far as I can recall going back over the tapes, you didn't call me sir once, so you're out, my friend. That leaves us David and David and Phil. Sorry, David and Still, who were both, yep. David didn't really call me sir, that I can recall. He did have in his favour the 9.2 second fastest speech in the history of the speed debate. Still, you were relentless in calling me sir. Relentless. Sir this, sir that, sir this. I love
My
it.
pleasure, sir.
But I still, unfortunately, my friend, cannot sandpaper my eyes far enough back into my skull to remove the image of you behind the curtain, possibly in your underpants. So congratulations, David. You're the winner of the speed debate this year. As long as you don't say anything inappropriate in your acceptance speech. Congratulations, David.
Thank you very much, sir.
I'll take that. Well done. And to all our debaters, what a fun way to finish this off, as it always is, in particular to Mike and Geoff stepping up at very short notice. Just before we wrap up, we do now, I believe, have Michelle, who can give her presentation in the Capture the Flag activity. Are you there, Michelle?
So Secure Code Warrior has been running a secure coding tournament over the last 3 days. It was great to see people, everyone getting involved in it. If you haven't heard about Secure Code Warrior, we're a global security company. We make software development better and more secure. And our vision is to empower software developers to be the first line of defense in their organization by making security highly visible and providing them with the skills and tools to write secure code from the beginning. So I will now let you know who the winners are of the secure coding tournament. In third place, we have Nurbak Urumov, who wins a Secure Code Warrior t-shirt. In second place, Tiernan Mesmer, who wins the Secure Code Warrior t-shirt and a swag pack. And in first place goes to Brett, who wins the Secure Code Warrior hoodie and a swag pack as well. So thank you very much for participating. If you'd like to know more about us, please go to securecodewarrior.com. Thanks very much.
Great stuff, Michelle. Thank you so much. I just wish I'd had a sweat pack when Still was talking about being naked. But anyway, David Stockdale is going to say a few words to wrap up this afternoon's proceedings. Just before we throw to David, because I'm not sure if I'll be able to come back in on the technology we're using, can I give a personal thanks again to the AusCERT community for letting me be part of this amazing couple of days. It's always mind-expanding, mind-altering, a little bit scary at times, but just a wonderful experience. And to the team of Beck and Laura and everyone, it's been such a challenge putting this all together this year, but it's been seamless, except for my little fault this afternoon. It's been wonderful to be part of. Congratulations to you all and to the wonderful sponsors that made AusCERT possible in 2020 and beyond. I'll see you all in May next year, but I'll now throw to you, David Stockdale, to wrap this up.